This is Andi Purewal for Boxing News. I'm joined by Richie Woodhall out here in a roasting Poland. Richie, you're a later arrival into fight week, but here we are. How are you finding your time here so far?
I think it's a fantastic city. I've never been before. Really nice, pleasant people. I love the old buildings, and there's real character about the place. Yeah, it's a nice place, man, and the weather's just sensational.
You mentioned the word character there. We have two very different characters headlining on Saturday night. We have Alexander Usyk. Many consider him to be one of the best fighters in the world. Daniel Dubois. He's had his trials, his tribulations throughout his career, but here he is looking to become a unified heavyweight champion. As this fight's gotten ever closer, Richie, what's been your thoughts on it?
My thoughts are it's a really, really difficult fight for Daniel. I think everyone knows that. However, you've seen in the past in the heavyweight division, complacency can always creep into a champion. But I think that's the only chance probably Daniel's got, as if Alexander Usyk has taken him too lightly and got complacent, then you just never know. He has got decent power, Daniel. It's a massive stage, it's a massive fight for him, the biggest of his career. But in a lot of ways, the pressure's off him because he's away from home. I think we have to remember that. I remember boxing away from home many times, and the pressure is off you to a certain degree, and hopefully he can turn that, to his advantage.
People have tried to draw comparisons to how Anthony Joshua performed against Alexander Usyk, and in the build-up to both of his fights, people were saying AJ needed to be more aggressive. He needed to kind of try and slow Usyk down from allowing him to move around the ring, because we know he's a brilliant technician. With that in mind, do you have more confidence that Daniel will be more aggressive in comparison to what we saw from Anthony Joshua?
I think he's got to be more aggressive. If you look at the way AJ fought him, especially the second time, he did a lot better. He did a lot better because he was a lot more aggressive, and he came forward a little bit more and put Usyk on the back foot and hurt him, I think, a couple of times to the body. So I think Daniel's got to take a lot of courage from that. Look at the points from the AJ fight, the second one, and build on that. He's only human at the end of the day. But it's a difficult fight. But like I say, I think if Daniel Dubois can just take snippets from the AJ second fight and build on that and target the body, push him back, be more aggressive, then you never know.
With Daniel, a lot of people have also said that he needs to start fast. He needs to try and make a bit of a statement, impose himself in those early rounds. Do you think that this fight will be won or lost within those first few rounds?
I think they're really important, no doubt. I think if you start a fight against Usyk, sit back, have a look at him type of thing, then just let him get into a rhythm and then you fall into that trap. I think he's got to do things a little bit differently, Daniel Dubois. I think he's got to be more aggressive right from the word go. Let Usyk know that he's in a fight and he's not going to allow him to control the rhythm and tempo of the contest. I think if Daniel can do that, it's easier said than done, but if he can do that, then he's got half a chance, But I think those early rounds are really important, that he starts quick, aggressive, but doing it behind his boxing. And I think the key punch for me is going to be his jab.
His first fight under the tutelage of Don Charles as well, Richie. It's a big ask for anybody to step in and have a new training team around you, but to go into a fight like this, it doesn't get any easier.
Doesn't get any easier, new trainer, maybe new ideas. I think Daniel will have it in his own mind anyway, what he's got to do. Don Charles is a good coach. He will, he'll be ramming it into him in terms of what he's got to do. So I think in the build-up to it, they'll have been working on a set of tactics probably months ago, weeks ago. So, he's just got to stick to those tactics. But for me, the tactic has got to be controlled aggression, most certainly. I've said this many times, in a world title fight, you can't rely on one set of tactics. You've got to be able to adapt and change. Certainly that's what Usyk does. Daniel's got to be able to do that. Whether he can do that, who knows. But certainly he's got to be aggressive from the start, and let's see where that takes him.
Richard, everybody's always talking about the heavyweight division. Everybody's excited to see what's next for a number of fights. One that's been mentioned is Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder. We saw AJ recently return against Robert Helenius, and he received a bit more criticism because of how long that fight went on. What did you make of AJ's most recent outing?
I think he wanted to get rounds under his belt, to be quite honest. I wouldn't read too much into that fight when you're assessing what AJ's like. I think he's got a great chance against Deontay Wilder. I said it many times. You got two massive punchers. You two can set up the shot and get that big punch home. I think they're both capable of knocking each other out. So AJ, I think it's a 50-50 fight, and you never know. Obviously, I think the favourite will probably be Wilder, but for me, there's still plenty left in the tank for AJ, and I hope he can do something. But it'll be tough. But I think it's who connects first. So I think he's in with a great show.
Obviously, as somebody who's previously worked alongside him and trained him and worked alongside Rob McCracken, I just want to get your thoughts on what AJ had to say about his time with Rob.
Well, I think, I like to think he's respectful and he's grateful to Rob, because I think Rob McCracken did a fantastic job with him. And he's an excellent coach, Rob. So, yeah, I was surprised as anyone that he left Rob. I didn't think it was the right decision. I still don't. But Rob, I think, like I said, done a brilliant job with him. And let's see now. I think there's still a bit left in AJ, but 2 or 3 fights most certainly at the highest level. Everyone would still like to see that Fury fight sometime down the line. But yeah, if you can take care of Wilder, that builds that fight even bigger. But let's wait and see.
Did you see AJ's comments towards Rob a few months ago now?
I don't look into it much about it, to be quite honest. People say things sometimes off the cuff, whatever. Whatever he says, Rob McCracken did a brilliant job with him.
And just final one, Richie, we have a Fury-Ngannou fight on the horizon as well. It's kind of divided opinion whether or not people are looking forward to it. Obviously, we wanted to see Fury-Usyk, instead we get Fury-Ngannou. What's your thoughts on this exhibition bout between Fury and Ngannou?
I think, at the end of the day, money comes into it, doesn't it? A lot of the times, we'd all like to see Tyson Fury in with people like Usyk, Joshua. This is a bit of a sideshow, if you like. I'm expecting Tyson to win the fight, and he'll earn plenty of money. And like I says, if everyone keeps winning, then these fights keep building. But yes, after this one, let's get Tyson probably in with Usyk. If Usyk wins this one, it could be Tyson versus Dubois if Daniel Dubois is successful. So who knows? But if everyone keeps winning, they build and build and build. But yeah, I think it's a bit of a sideshow, and I'm expecting Tyson to come through with it with flying colours, really.
And then just final one, Richie, that was going to be it, but Zhang-Joyce too as well. Yeah. How do you rate Joe's chances going into this rematch?
Got a great chance, got to do things differently. I think he was a bit static and made some just fundamental errors against Zhang last time. I'm certainly hoping that he'll put that right. His movement's got to be different. Certainly he kept on moving onto the backhand of his opponent last time, so I'm expecting changes in his style most certainly. And like I said, Joe is quite capable, I think, of beating Zhang. He's beaten, I think, as good southpaws in the amateurs when he was a top-class amateur. I know it's professional, it's different, but Zhang was a top-class amateur also. So he's quite. My point is, he's quite capable of handling that sort of style, and to get to grips with it, sort it out, because he did it as a top-class amateur, and I'm expecting it to do it as a pro. So I think Joe Joyce, again, hard fight, but he can win that fight most definitely.
All right, Richie, we're here now in the blistering heat. I think I'm going to leave you to go and try and cool down for a bit before this weigh-in starts. So thank you for speaking to me, and I'll speak to you soon.
No problem, pleasure.